So, once again, welcome to the class. And we have been discussing from the last 3 to 4 classes how important as a purchase manager is to enter into the contract. And in that particular scenario, how a purchase manager need to behave and what are the various authorities. And what you need to remember is every purchase manager is act like an agent on behalf of the company or on behalf of the principal. And every purchase manager possesses few authorities, and those authorities are mainly as express authorities, implied authorities, and in some situations or some circumstances where he need to or she used to use the emergency authority also. And after that, we also discussed how a purchase manager will execute the contract. And in the last class, we just started what are the essentials of the purchase contract. Buyer and seller is important, and agreement should be there between the two persons, and the title of the goods will move from one person to the another person. And after that, we also started the one of the important point from the buyer point of view is an offer, isn't it? So maybe sometimes offer may be from buyer side or maybe from the seller side, isn't it? So we discussed offer, but instead of offer we are calling okay. So before that, we also discussed that the offer consists of three important components, that is intent to make, communicate the offer, and it should have a specific subject, right? So in especially in the purchasing, we instead of offer, the purchase official will call it as a RFQ. So what is RFQ means? Request for quotation, isn't it? And this request for quotation is an excellent way for the firms without making any legal commitment, isn't it? Because I am only asking the seller the request for the quotation, isn't it? And I want to show a sample request quotation here. By that, where you can understand. Right. Is it visible? Is it visible? The diagram is visible to you? The diagram is visible. Please. Nobody is talking. Is the diagram is visible to you?
Sir.
Yes. So this is a sample. What I want to show is regarding RFQ, isn't it? So you see the diagram. There is a date, means on which date you are sending the request, isn't it? And order, isn't it? So you need to give some number here. And friends, what you need to remember is from company to company, the request forms differ, isn't it? But whatever the content you are asking for the request, almost all the content will be the same, isn't it? For example, the requester, from whom you are requesting, what is the room, phone extension, and who are your principal investigator, isn't it? Who is your boss? Who is your head, isn't it? And who is approving this? It should be approved by the higher officials, isn't it? And suggested vendor means whom you are asking for a request, and what is the address of the vendor, isn't it? And date wanted, on which date you are ready to buy, and shipping instructions. And these are all the, and friends, this is very, very important, isn't it? And you need to give some code or maybe quantity, how much you want, whether you want 10 tons or maybe in kgs you want, because this is quantity number you need to give, isn't it? And you need to write the description, isn't it? And what the description you need to write? The include manufacturer, name, model, type, and etc. All this information you need to go with that. And sometimes if there is any catalog number also, because in the previous class we also studied that few suppliers will use catalogs, isn't it? And catalog, every catalog is nothing but a printed design or maybe printed pictures, and every printed pictures, below the printed material or picture, they'll give some number, isn't it? And we call that number as a catalog number, isn't it? And for a particular item, for example, for a particular item, assume that you have ordered some X item, isn't it? And a catalog number is 12 is your catalog number. And what is the unit price, isn't it? So what is the unit price you need to give here? and what is the total cost, isn't it? Because assume that the unit price is 100. Right. Right. So assume that if you are asking for a item and quantity is assume that 10, you need 10 quantity, isn't it? And in number of units it is not required. So what you need to do is describe your description, your what type of product you want. This is what the description. And assume that the catalog number is some 12 is the catalog number, means the item which is, and assume that the unit price is 100. And if you want 10, isn't it? And what is the unit price? So here what happens? 10 into 100. Isn't it? 10 into 100, how much? How much 10 into 100? Please, are you listening or not? What is total cost will become? What is the total cost? 1000 rupees, isn't it? So like that, you will have item 1, second item, third item, like that, the list. So you need to give the all the list. Like that, what they'll do? They'll send the request. And this request, it differs from company to company. But whatever the request may be, friends, it consists of the item description, the catalog number, the unit price, and the total cost. And this RFQ is not 100% forcing the buyer to buy, isn't it? What you need to remember, it is only a request. That is what we discussed in the previous class. It is only request, isn't it? It is not 100%. The intent is not to buy, isn't it? The intent is not 100% ready to buy. So because you are only asking the request, and some you see the friends, last class we have also discussed catalogs, isn't it? So sometimes some retailers, some vendors, they'll also give the catalog, isn't it? And this is what the request form, what I would like to show. And we also discussed in the previous class, today due to the internet revolution, most of the activities are taking place through online, isn't it? Don't need to go for writing a letter or email. You can send the request through the email, and they'll send the all the photographs and pictures and all the details through your mails. All the quotations you are receiving through the mails only. And that's what we discussed. And friends, for today's class, we are going to go with an offers and counter offers, isn't it? So the negotiation process between the buyer and seller usually, which leads to maybe offers or maybe a counter offers, isn't it? Offer, you know, isn't it? So offer means a person maybe from a buyer side or maybe a seller side. The offer may be from any side. For example, a company is giving advertisement on TV. So please respond your answers. A company is giving its TV advertisement on television, isn't it? Who is offering here? Whether the company is offering or the customers are offering. Who is the offerer here? You are watching a television advertisement that Samsung company is giving its advertisements of its television. So who is offerer, whether buyer or seller?
Buyer.
Isn't it? Buyer, obviously. Buyer. Samsung is a buyer. Do you listen my question? Samsung television offer is given on television. So who is offering?
Samsung.
Samsung is a buyer or a seller?
Seller.
Seller. So what I want to say, friends, offers may not be only from always the buyer side. Sometimes offers may be also from seller side also, isn't it? So seller and buyer. Now what you need to understand, what is counter offer, isn't it? What is a counter offer? You are giving an offer and I am going and counter, isn't it? So what is a counter offer is a legally binding components which that institute as an offer. And what this counter offer means, it's an original offer which was rejected or replaced with another one. So friends, you remember carefully, what is an counter order? Counter offer means the original offer which was rejected or replaced with another one. For example, A has given an offer to B. A is offering product to B, isn't it? And what B says, B is rejecting, B is not accepting. So once B is not accepting, what happens? B is not accepting and he is rejecting. So for that, what I am doing, the original offer is not accepted. It may be rejected or replaced. So what A will do, in the place of the first order, first offer, he need to go for the second one, isn't it? And we call that from the second side is called as offer and counter offer. A is giving an offer, by rejecting, what the B is doing? B is doing counter offer. Now it is clear. A counter offer means the original offer was rejected or replaced with another one, isn't it? So I am giving an offer. Today evening, all the logistics students are invited for a coffee, isn't it? And the original offer, if you are rejecting, isn't it? No, sir, today is not possible. So we'll come some other day. And what you call that offer as? Offer or counter offer? What do you call it as? Offer or counter offer?
Counter offer.
Counter offer, because you're not accepting, rejecting, and you are also saying that, sir, some other day will come, isn't it? Counter offer. So in the contract, what happens? All the offers may not be accepted. Sometimes few offers may be the counter offers also. That you need to know as a purchase officer. Right. So now the next important topic comes from friends, the time limit, isn't it? Because the time is an important factor and important element for an offerer, and not only for offerer, it is also for the offeree, isn't it? Before we get into the depth of the topic, I'd like to go for the first poll question for today. Okay, please read the poll question properly and answer. Right, I'm closing. I'm sharing the results with you. So 50% of the class has given the right answer and the 50% of the class has given the wrong answer. But just now I said RFQ have shown a sample also, and by listening the just 5 minutes class, if you are not able to understand means it is up to you. But 50% of the class has given the right answer. What is RFQ means? Request for quotation, isn't it? You are asking the vendor or supplier for the request for the quotation. The answer is request for the quotation. We'll move to the next continuation topic. So what you need to understand is every offer is associated with the time, isn't it? So time plays a key role, and every offer has the 4 outcomes, isn't it? And depending on the time, these 4 points has been we as a purchase manager we need to understand. So sometimes an offer may be lapsed, sometimes the offer may be rejected, sometimes the offer may be revoked, and sometimes the offer may be accepted. So every offer will execute with a time limit, isn't it? Because the time plays a key role as far as the legal terms and offer is concerned. So we'll discuss one by one. What the offer, the first one, isn't it? The offer may lapse, isn't it? Isn't it? For example, I'll give an example. You have a license. You have a license with you have a two-wheeler license, isn't it? And the two-wheeler license will have a date, isn't it? Where it is going to lapse. And what is that lapse date? Today, you are applying for a license in 2020. And what the government officials, government authority, the RTA has given a license for 10 years. Assume that by 2030 means your license is valid for 2030. So you and the RTA, both the government and you are entering into a license agreement that your license, two-wheeler license will expire in 2030, isn't it? And if you have not renewed in 2030, what your license is going to be? Your license is going to be lapsed, isn't it? So exactly, friends, what is the lapse means? Offer is also going to be lapsed, isn't it? In terms, an offer can be lapsed after a stated period, isn't it? What you need to remember is every offer has a limited period. So friends, you remember this, isn't it? So it lapses after the stated period, isn't it? If this period is over, then your contract and agreement will become lapse, isn't it? So lapse means it is not going to be valid, isn't it? So every offer has a time limit, and that time limit, what you need to do, you need to understand the time limit, and within the time period you need to complete the offer or execution of the contract. So first point, what you need to do, so offer should have a lapse or maybe stated period. But in many cases, friends, in many cases, in general terms, what they say that the offer has no time limit, isn't it? So in general, in many cases, maybe sometimes this lapse doesn't work, isn't it? Because lapse should be for a reasonable period. It should be for a reasonable period of time. For example, recently few of you have submitted your assignment on Canvas, isn't it? And if you have submitted late also, isn't it? So what I am doing, I'm as a teacher, as a student relation, what I am doing, I'm not focusing much on the submitted time. Anyway, you have submitted one day after the due date, so I'm accepting and I'm giving the marks. So in some situations, it may not have that particular, isn't it? So don't think that all the contracts will have that scenario, but in few cases or in many cases, the offerer does not have a time limit, but especially in purchasing, it has a time limit. Coming to the next one, this is what the offer may lapse, isn't it? And also, friends, sometimes the offer may, second point, what you need to understand is it may reject also, isn't it? Sometimes it may reject. So what it says, whatever the offerer is giving, it is not mandatory to accept 100%. Just now I said, I'm inviting you for a dinner tonight. So few of you said, sir, I have an urgent work. So today is not possible. So what you are doing, you are rejecting my offer, isn't it? Sometimes in few situations, the offer may be rejected, isn't it? The rejection of the offer kills it completely, isn't it? What is killing means you are not accepting. You are straight away saying rejecting, isn't it? And that rejected offer should be communicated. The second important point, what you need to do, for example, I have invited you for a dinner tonight, and out of 10 students, 5 came and 5 won't came, isn't it? Do you inform me whether you are coming or not, or you just leave like that? What you will do? I'm asking all the class. I have invited you today for the dinner, and only 5 students came to my house. The remaining 5, they won't came. Do you think that, do you feel responsible to inform me, sir, we are not coming, or you just leave like that? What you will do?
Responsible to inform you.
Isn't it? So it's a responsibility, because I need to prepare the food, because I have prepared food for the 10 people. I have ordered some snacks and all those. So that are the information. So exactly, friends, as a purchase manager, you need to give that information. No, no, no. Whatever the offer you are giving, I'm not accepting. I'm rejecting. It should be communicated very well, isn't it? And the communication either may be verbal or written, isn't it? In what way you feel that comfortable, whether you are comfortable by verbal, by calling, you can say you are not accepting, you are rejecting it, or you can have a mail also, isn't it? And the example which I have given, I'm invited you for a lunch. So what is the best method is verbal communication. Sir, I have sent a mail to you, you check your mail, I am not coming today, isn't it? So that is not the correct way. But as far as the purchase manager is concerned, you can inform verbally, or you can also send a mail, isn't it? So because it is very, very important, the rejected information should be there for both parties. The seller should know, as well as the buyer should know. The second point regarding the offer, regarding the time aspect, is it may be rejected sometime, isn't it? Maybe you doesn't like it, or maybe the material is not quality, and maybe the supplier attitude is not good. Whatever the reason may be, you may reject, isn't it? Next, right, the third and important one, the offer may be revoked, isn't it? Have you heard this word revoked in your legal aspects of business? Have you heard this word revoked? Anyone?
Not so sure, sir.
Not so sure the meaning of revoked? No. What is the revoked means? Cancel. The meaning of revoke is, what is the meaning of
Cancel.
cancel? Isn't it? So in some instance, right, very good. The answer, some of your friend has given right answer, cancel. Isn't it? In some instance, the offer is revoked means cancelled, isn't it? And what, there is a right, isn't it? There is a right. For example, I called you for a dinner, isn't it? So you have a right to not accepting and cancelling it, isn't it? You have that right. And the law permits the offerer to be revoked at any time, isn't it? Before it is accepted, isn't it? So I can cancel myself, isn't it? So in law, what the law says, it can be revoked at any time, isn't it? Because the law says that whatever the offers you are asking, and whatever the expectations you are receiving, it can be revoked or it can be cancelled at any time, isn't it? And according to the law, if the every company has a freedom to make an offer, and equally freedom to revoke. So both things may happen. You have a right to offer, and you have a right to cancel. And instead of cancel, in the legal terminology, we call it as a revoke or revoke, isn't it? And that revoke should be before acceptance, isn't it? So friends, please listen carefully. That revoke should be before the acceptance. For example, you go to a shop, you have taken two fruits, and you are seeing physically, isn't it? And you have eaten an apple, and can you revoke it? You have taken two apples, by physically, by touching, you can reject it. But one apple you have eaten. After eating that, can you revoke it?
No, sir.
No. The shop owner will give a kick on your face, isn't it? Because the revoke information should be before acceptance, isn't it? So that you need to understand. So it has a time lapse, isn't it? And it may be rejected, it may be revoked, and the last one, no need to give an explanation. If everything goes well, the offer is accepted, isn't it? And this is what the offer time, as far as time aspect is concerned. And I move to the next one, right? Option contracts, isn't it? And friends, option contracts are the most difficult contracts which you need to understand, isn't it? And what is the option contract? and I would like to explain this option contract with a small video, and that video will really help you to understand what is this option contract, isn't it? For example, generally, what is an option means? Generally, because if you know the meaning of the option, then it understood very well. What is generally an option means? Option means what? Anyone? What is an option?
Sir, it's option or option.
Option. What is generally option? You heard already word an option.
We can choose whatever we wanted to.
Right.
Regarding our options.
Very good. You got that right, isn't it? You have that right. Choice. Very good. 129 has given the right answer. Choice. I have a choice. A buyer has a choice as well as a seller has a choice, isn't it? So what type of these option contracts are? Option contracts are, there is a chance, there is a option to buy or maybe to not buy, or maybe I'll buy at later date or later time, isn't it? And I want to explain with a small video example that I'll explain one by one. So what I'll do is I'll share that example, then it becomes very easy to understand. Right. Can you see a person with a car? Is it visible? Is it visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So what I'll do is I want to explain this with an example, isn't it? So friends, what is the example is Mr. Sunil. And who is he? Mr. Sunil. So he is Sunil. Who is he? He is Sunil, isn't it? And Mr. Sunil want to purchase a car, isn't it? So Mr. Sunil want to purchase a car, and what he will do? He purchase a car for 10 lakhs, isn't it? So Mr. Sunil want to purchase a car for 10 lakhs, isn't it? And once he purchased a car, what most of the people will do? Once you purchased a car, what most of the people will do? Please respond. What most of the people, Mr. Sunil want to purchase a car of worth 10 lakhs, isn't it? And what he want to do? He want to take an insurance policy, isn't it? He want to take a insurance policy for his car, isn't it? And the insurance policy, what they have done? The insurance policy, he approached an insurance company, and the insurance company, he entered into a agreement, isn't it? Whatever you are seeing, some GT car insurance, and every insurance have a insurance starting date and as well as insurance expiry date, isn't it, friends? Are you following the example? Are you following the example? Please, are you following the example? Yes, very good. So, Mr. Sunil want to purchase a car worth 10 lakhs, and what he has done? He approached an insurance company, and that insurance company will provide the insurance for the accident, isn't it? And what he has done? And he assumed that he approached the company on 1st April 2020, and his insurance is going to expire on April 2021, isn't it? And he has taken the insurance for how many days? He has taken the insurance for 1 year, isn't it? And immediately, what this insurance company will do? This insurance company will have that IDV. And what is this IDV means? Insured declared value. Friends, my car worth is 10 lakhs, but insured declared value is 9 lakhs. And what is this 9 lakhs? If my car gets accident, if my car get damaged, isn't it? If my car get damaged, what a company need to do? A company will pay how much amount to me? 9 lakhs. So friends, the company will pay 9 lakhs, isn't it? That is what the agreement between the insurance company and between Mr. Sunil. So what is IDV means? The insured declare value, and that insured declare value is 9 lakhs. Anyway, at any cost, this insurance company, isn't it? Because simple. He is a seller. He is buyer. Isn't it? He is a seller, he is a buyer. So what you need to understand, at any cost, if my car get damaged, the insurance company need to pay 9 lakhs, isn't it? Now, next. What happens next? If and now, who is he and who is what? Some legal terms what you need to understand, isn't it? So, what this particular person is called as, who is buyer and who is seller, we will define in the option contract. We will define that person as different, isn't it? So, what you need to understand, friends, Sunil purchased 10 lakhs worth car and he has got an insurance for 9 lakhs, insurance, and the company is ready to give 9 lakhs if he met with an accident, isn't it? With an accident and where the car get damaged. Now, so how much amount I am paying, isn't it? And we call this policy premium amount is 40,000. So I am paying 40,000 to whom? I am paying 40,000 to the insurance company, isn't it? Because I am paying amount to the insurance company. If my car get damaged or my car get accident, the company will pay how much amount? 9 lakhs. And that 9 lakhs we are calling it as insured declared value. Right. So what happens? Here, what you need to understand is, if the policy is 40,000 and this, right, this is known as options contract. So friends, you listen. Sunil purchased a car worth 10 lakhs and after immediately purchasing, he approached an insurance company to go for an accidental insurance, and the insurance is for 1 year, and the insurance company, at any cost, if the damage is claimed, please listen carefully, at any cost, if the damage is there, the insurance company need to pay how much? How many rupees? 9 lakhs, isn't it? And how much premium the person, the Sunil, is paying? 40,000, isn't it? And he called as option buyer. Mr. Sunil is called as option buyer. So Mr. Sunil is nothing but a option buyer, isn't it? And where the insurance company is called as option seller. So friends, you see, we are using two words here. What are those two words? Isn't it? One is a option buyer and another one is a option seller, isn't it? And what the option buyer, isn't it? Option buyer has a condition. What that condition, isn't it? If car doesn't get accident, isn't it? If the car doesn't get accident, the Sunil he does not claim, isn't it? Friends, I'm using options here. If Sunil car doesn't get damaged, can he claim the insurance? No, isn't it? Because he has a, what the condition is, Sunil, he is not he has an option to claim. And not only that, he doesn't have an option not to claim also. Isn't it? Two options are there for him. If my car gets damaged, isn't it? What is the option I have? I can claim, isn't it? And if my car doesn't get damaged, isn't it? What you need to do? You need to, we will not claim for the option, isn't it? That is what the, and friends, just I am repeating, right? And in terminology, the amount which 9 lakhs the insurance company pay to Mr. Sunil, we call this price as strike price, isn't it? So in options, friends, you remember, we call this price as strike price, isn't it? Strike price in option contract means the amount paid by the insurance company to the option buyer or the option seller to the option buyer, and we call it as a strike price, isn't it? And now we will see what happens, isn't it? If option buyer, what is the rights of the option buyer, isn't it? And we will see what are the rights of the option seller and what are the rights of the option buyer, isn't it? And first, what I would like to show is what are the options for the buyer. Buyer means Sunil, isn't it? And the amount, the premium is 40,000. The amount paid by Mr. Sunil is 40,000. And the point what you need to remember is, if your vehicle get damaged, you have a claim. The buyer has an option to claim, isn't it? And if the vehicle is not damaged, isn't it? So friends, he has a right to claim money. And it is not compulsory that if the vehicle doesn't get damaged, he doesn't have a right to ask the option seller, isn't it? And coming to the option seller, if the vehicle get damaged, isn't it? If the vehicle get damaged, he has to obligated or compulsory. How much amount the option seller needed to pay? 9 lakhs. Isn't it? So friends, option buyer has a right to claim, and it is not compulsory or obligation to go for claim without any damage. But here, what the seller at any cost, if he is claiming for vehicle damage, the option seller needed to give the amount. So what you understand by the example, I'll explain with a simple line. Mr. Sunil purchased a car of 10 lakhs and he insured the car for a period of 1 year in 1st April 2022 to 1st April 2021, and the expiry date is April 2021, and the IDE value is 9 lakhs and the amount, the premium paid was 40,000. So here two sides are there. One is option buyer, Mr. Sunil, and insurance company, option seller, isn't it? And what are the options they have? Option buyer has a right to claim the vehicle get damaged, isn't it? And option seller has an option obligated or compulsory to pay the amount to the Sunil, Mr. Sunil. And if such type of contracts, are there, isn't it? And we call those contracts as option contracts, isn't it? Because friends, these option contracts generally takes place at the share market. These option contracts most of the time will take place in the share market. And under option concepts, there are two more concepts called call option and put option. But at this moment, as far as the legal aspects of the business, it is not compulsory to discuss what is a call option and what is a put option. But now friends, it is now very clear, because both the option buyer has a right to claim the car if it get damaged, and option seller is compulsory obligated to pay, isn't it? Obligated to pay the amount, isn't it? That is what we called as, isn't it? So this is a small example I want to share with you. Right. So an option contract is an agreement between a buyer and a seller that gives the purchaser of an option the right to buy or sell a particular asset to the later date, isn't it? This is the example which I have given. The slide is we have anyway, right? So Before we go to this topic, we'll have a second core question. Please read the question properly and answer. Right. Closing. Right. So 83% of the class has given the right answer. It's a counter offer because every offer there may be a sometimes counter offer also, and that counter offer is what the answer, and 83% of the class has given the right answer. Friends, this is the last topic which I would like to close for the today's class in terms of a contract, and especially the project, the purchase manager is concerned. Quantity plays a key role in the contract because an offer must always expressed as a fixed quantity of a sale, isn't it? When you are offering, these are the examples. For example, if you are entering into a contract on the concrete, on the, so what is the quantity you need to see? The cubic yards you will see, and the oil you will do in a barrels, and also fuel in gallons, isn't it? So what this slide explains, friends, it is compulsory for a contract. You should mention the quantity. Even in the diagram also, we mention the quantity. If you see the picture once again, what this says that, what this yearly says that it is what the quantity is mentioned here, isn't it? QTY, isn't it? So every time when you are entering into a contract, what you need to be, the quantity you need to mention. I want some 10 tons of steel. I want some 10 barrels of oil, isn't it? And I want some 5 gallons of fuel. So this is very, very important. Quantity should be mentioned in the contract, and that quantity is nothing but the unit of measure. For example, if you are very you are suffering from fever, isn't it? How you measure? You measure with a thermometer, isn't it? And how you measure the thermometer in terms of the degrees, isn't it? How much degrees of temperature you have? Exactly. In a contract also, the quantity plays a key role, isn't it? And the quantity terms are, if the quantity terms are missing, I am placing an order without the quantity terms, then the contract is unenforceable. If you want to enter the contract, and if it should be a forcible, isn't it? If you are forcing the other person to enter into your contract, if the quantity is missing, for example, if you go to a shop, isn't it, and you want rice, without mentioning the quantity, the shop person will give the rice? No, he will simply ask how much. I want 10 kgs of rice. Immediately by saying the quantity, he will pack the 10 kgs, or maybe you want 25 kgs back. Isn't it? Once you say 25 kgs of rice, he'll pack the rice and he will give it to you. So exactly in a contract also, quantity plays a key role. And what you need to remember, friends, if the quantity term is missing in the contract, means the contract is unenforceable. You cannot force, isn't it? So quantity is very, very important. So with this, I would like to stop for today's class, and maybe you understood this options contract very well, because option contract is very, very easy to understand, isn't it? So what you remember, write down the same example also. Sunil and the insurance company. Sunil has a car and he insured the accidental insurance, and if the car get damaged, insurance company need to give 9 lakhs, and how much premium I am paying? 40,000, I'm paying. And one important point, in that 1 year, if my car is okay, in that 1 year, my car is okay, and you cannot claim, can the insurance company return your 40,000? My question to you, can insurance company, if your car is good, excellent condition, no damage, nothing happened, no accident, whatever the 40,000 premium you are paying, that amount the insurance company will give to the Mr. Sunil?
No, sir.
No, isn't it? Because if the car get damaged, you are getting 9 lakhs. So that 40,000 is the insurance premium you pay. That you, because a buyer has an option as well as a seller has an option. And in the option contract, what you need to remember is simply for the knowledge sake, write down a put option will be there and a call option will be there. And these two options are used under the option contracts. So friends, I would like to stop the class for today. And I have already posted the second unit also. I have posted in the canvas the second unit, and I have allotted the marks for the first assignment also. And by coming 1 or 2 days, I'll also give the second assignment for the second unit, isn't it? And those who are, I will see the percentage of those who are absent for the starting class, and based on their performance in the quiz, the quiz which I'm going to put it on the canvas in the maybe by end of this week. So those who attempt and they'll score well, then I'll allot the marks to them. But for second assignment is for all, isn't it? The second assignment for all. So from the second unit, I have already posted in your Canvas account. You can download that, and whenever the assignment is given, so you can write the assignment and you can submit. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for the today's class. And again, we will meet in the next class.